Hello everyone, thanks for joining again. I appreciate you watching all of our videos. And today we're going to talk about a situation which could occur to you, and we've had this happen with some of our clients, which is a last minute denial by the underwriter. And there are things that could occur during the mortgage process and even after you're approved, which could take an approval and turn it into a denial. And most of these things are really going to be on you as the potential homeowner or the buyer of the home, or if you're refinancing, just the loan borrower. So the thing is that when the underwriter is reviewing your file, they're reviewing it in an as-is situation, meaning here are your credit scores, here's your debt that appears on your credit report, and any other factors that may be part of the equation. So the last thing you need to do is change those things in any way possible. That would result in the underwriter checking up again before closing, which they often do, and realizing that the application is now changed. So let me give you two of the most important examples. One would be that you went out and made some large purchases. I've seen where people went out and bought a new car because they got the approval in their hands, or their pre-approval, or whatever it is, and then they want to run out and go get a new car. Now all of a sudden this car payment shows up, and the lender does a pull of the credit just a couple days before closing, and now you've got an extra $450, and that now means you may not qualify for the loan amount that you were looking to get. That is, every good loan officer in the United States is going to tell you, do not make any purchases. And doesn't matter, furniture, nothing. Even if you want to be well prepared and move in with the furniture already, it doesn't matter. You're not going to be moving in if you find yourselves with another payment in your credit profile that you did not have when the underwriter reviewed it in the first place. So you cannot have any more purchases, and you don't even want to make purchases that get thrown on your credit card, because again, it could change the minimum payment requirement if it was a large purchase, and then you may not qualify. Do not buy anything until you sign the papers at the closing table. Then do what you need to do. Within reason, of course, be smart about it. Okay, the other thing is a change in jobs. And I'm not just talking about physically changing your job after you've been approved for the mortgage, meaning that you start before the closing date, but you should not even give notice to your current employer that you've found another job and you're leaving, because the underwriter may call the employer, because they do a verbal verification of employment. They may call one more time, right before closing to make sure you're employed. And if human resources or whoever it is that answers the phone at your company says, Joe actually just resigned, his last day is going to be in 2 weeks from now. So if that occurs, you're going to have a problem. The loan will stop at that point. You're going to have to provide documentation on what your new job is and when you're starting it. And then you may wait. You may be required to wait until that job begins, or until you have quite a few pay stubs under your belt before you can move forward. And then of course the total income will have to be at least as much, if not more, at the new job. So again, you may have an offer. Just let them know what's happening with your closing, and that you need to just wait until the closing date passes before you give notice at your current job. Those are the two big things that could cause a last minute denial. And if you just take care of those two things, you should be okay with the approval that you have in your hand already. If you have any other questions, or if you've got a different scenario that's happened to you, or that you heard of, or maybe it's happened to a friend or a relative, share that in the comments, because we'd love to see these other situations that people have gone through, and I'll reply pretty quickly in the comments letting you know what you should do or shouldn't do based on that circumstance. Thank you for watching, everyone, and we will see you in the next video.